A very good morning to all of you. We have been talking about form and content, chapter 2 from Terry Eagleton's book, Marxism and Criticism. We have dealt with many aspects. I won't repeat them because it's taking too much time. In the previous lecture, we talked about naturalism and formalism from Lucas's point of view. First of all, he talks about realism, and then he talks about the succession or the replacement of realism, the succession by naturalism and formalism, and he tries to tell how naturalism and formalism fail to meet the objects of realism. Let's We understood this in the previous lecture. Now we shall talk something more about naturalism and formalism. So, what Lucas talks about is that naturalism lacks the aspect of typical. This particular problem, is a kind of shortcoming of naturalism. It lacks an understanding of the typical. So, lacking an understanding of the typical, naturalism can create no significant totality from its materials. So, we had understood that from the source lacks that quality. So it doesn't come up with significant totality from its material. It doesn't come up with the unified epic or dramatic action which was launched by realism. Rather, it collapses into a set of purely private interests. That's what he thinks. In naturalism, no, private interest become the center, individual become the center, not the society. So that is the problem with naturalism. Then he talks about formalism as well, which came after realism. Formalism reacts in opposite direction, in opposite direction of realism, but betray the same loss of historical meaning. So the content is lost. Content here stands for the historical meaning, and the being the Marxist, Lucas thinks that formalism is a kind of reaction in an opposite direction, but it loses the historical meaning. Then he refers to the works of Kafka, Musil, Joyce, Beckett, Camus. Okay, so in the alienated words, the word alienation is used by these particular writers, and the alienation suggests that man is stripped of his history. Man is stripped. Stripped means his history is taken away. Stripping means the act of removing. History is removed from the individual's life and has no reality beyond the self. This is the problem. There is no reality beyond the self. I told you they focus on individuality. So no reality remains. Reality is removed, history is removed. And whatever reality they talk about is not the social reality. It becomes the individual reality. Further, character in these works is dissolved to mental states. So if you know about Franz Kafka, if you know about Samuel Beckett, Albert Camus, or James Joyce, etc., they are well known for the psychological portrayal of their characters, especially the stream of consciousness technique used by James Joyce. You must be familiar with. We have got introduced with the concepts like stream of consciousness, etc. So in their works, character is dissolved to mental states. Their Whatever happens inside their mind, that is presented, that is portrayed. And objective reality means there is no objective reality as such in these works. It is reduced to unintelligible chaos. If you read Beckett, you must have read Samuel Beckett last semester or this semester you're going to study as per my information. You are going to study the um, play by Samuel Beckett, Waiting for Godot. So it is very difficult to understand these works because the objective reality is reduced to what in unintelligible, something which we can't understand easily. Chaos, disorder. Chaos means disorder. There is no kind of order as such. Further, he talks about naturalism. As with naturalism, the dialectical unity between inner and outer worlds is destroyed. So there is, he thinks about the unity, and this unity between the inner, is the self, and the outer world, the society outside. This relationship is there. This relationship is, in contrast to each other, in opposition to each other, but that is destroyed. And what happens then? Both individual and society consequently emptied of meaning. You might be knowing. So in these works, now we don't see meaning. They talk about the absurdity of human life, the meaninglessness of human life. So both these, dialectical aspects lose the meaning itself. They are deprived of meaning. No meaning remains over there. What we see in these works by naturalist and by formalist, especially by naturalist, is that individuals are gripped by despair. They are, taken control by despair. Despair means the negative side of human life, opposite to happiness. Okay, opposite to being, what we call in a very delighted mood. So that is replaced by despair and angst, anxiety, worries are there, miseries are there, and individuals are robbed of social relations. They become alienated. They become cut off from social relations. They lose their relations. They remain, seclusive, lonely, and even they lose their authentic selfhood as well. Self is presented, but that is not authentic. If you read the plays by Samuel Beckett, you will realize it. So history becomes pointless or cyclical. Means it becomes mere duration. There is no history as such. It becomes cyclical. Cyclical means, for example, we say there is a beginning, middle, end. This cycle goes on. Nothing happens as such. So you must be knowing the absurdity with reference to Samuel Beckett. Absurd drama believes in this nothingness. So nothing becomes the prominent aspect of these works. Further, objects, apart from individuals, the objects presented in these works lack significance. They lose their value and they become merely contingent. Contingent means accidental. They means the things happen without any plan. Objects are just contingental. There is no order, no plan as such, no pre-plan. And symbolism is used in place of allegory. In earlier works, allegory was the dominant figure of speech. Instead of allegory, these writers prefer symbolism. For example, you have read an allegorical novel by George Orwell, An Animal Farm, The Animal Farm. Or if you remember the allegorical poem by Edmund Spenser, The Fairy Queen. So this allegory gives way to symbolism. Sorry, I'm very sorry. Symbolism gives way to allegory, and which it rejects the idea of eminent meaning. As allegory is used, and at the same time, this allegory rejects the idea of meaning as such. So, how he defines naturalism? Naturalism is a kind of abstract objectivity, whereas formalism is an abstract subjectivity. So, this is how he defines both naturalism and formalism. Both naturalism and formalism diverge, go away from the genuinity, that genuinely dialectical art form, realism. Realism presents both sides. Okay, and these particular isms go away, diverse from realism. As he describes whose form mediates between concrete and general. These are the dialectical relationship that he refers to. Essence and existence, typical and individual. So this dialectical unity itself is lost in formalism and in naturalism. So this is how George Lucas expresses his views on form and content while talking about his expressing his views on literary form. Okay, now we shall go ahead with the next part of our discussion.